Cayman moon,
the voice of the Cayman Islands, Radio Cayman.
shining down from above.
We love our listeners.
Radio Cayman in the Cayman Islands.
For the Record is brought to you by Fidelity Bank. For all your banking and pension needs, call or visit a Fidelity branch today. Vamped Motors, the only authorized Ford and Toyota dealerships serving the Cayman Islands. And Cayman Pharmacy Group, with locations in West Base and professional pharmacy at CTMH Doctors Hospital. The Cayman Pharmacy Group has a location for you just around the corner. And Seaboard Marine. With over 35 shipping ports, find your shipping solution by calling Seaboard Marine at 949-4977.
Coming to you live from Radio Cayman Studio.
For the record.
For the record. For the record. Hear from your government officials, independents, and the opposition on issues that matter to you.
For the record.
Engage in an open dialogue between residents and lawmakers.
For the record.
For the record. For the record.
Informative, impartial, insightful.
This is your talk show.
1-800-534-8255. Your calls, your input. This is For the Record. And now, your host, Orrett Connor.
Good morning and welcome to For the Record. Today is Wednesday, the 5th day of December 2018. Getting closer and closer to Christmas. I trust that those people who have to do their Christmas shopping, that if they haven't already done so, they need to really get on the ball because time is moving and it gets more and more hectic. The roads will continue to get busier as Christmas gets closer. If you're traveling, all of your travel plans should be in place as well. The airlines, the airports, everywhere is going to be busy for Christmas. So trust that everyone is getting themselves prepared. I trust that everyone had a beautiful evening and that you're all raring to go today. And I want to thank you, our listening and viewing audience, for allowing Radio Cayman and by extension For the Record into your homes, into your vehicles as you traverse the busy roads of the Cayman Islands, into your places of work, whether it be an office cubicle or if you're working in the outdoors. As you know, For the Record is a show produced by the staff and management of Radio Cayman, and it is geared towards keeping you abreast of issues as they arise and play out on the local, regional, and international scene. I'm your host, Orrett Connor, and you're welcome to join me every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 7:30 a.m. until 9:30 a.m. Our phone lines are always open. There is always someone there waiting to take your calls. 9 times out of 10, it is that beautiful radio voice of Miss Susan Watson. You can call us on our toll-free number provided courtesy of Flo. That toll-free number is 1-800-534-8255. You can also call us on 949-8037 and 949-6990. If you don't like to talk on the telephone, email us at For the Record. That is one word, For the Record, at candw.ky. WhatsApp us on 925-3261, where we encourage you to leave us a text message or send us a voice note, the contents of which will be played during the course of the show. And, of course, you can follow us on YouTube simply by subscribing to Radio Cayman live stream. So with all of that information passed out to you, I will now introduce my guest this morning. And no, it is not a repeat of Monday's show. All right, so you're hearing us live here in Radio Cayman For the Record. This is Wednesday, the 5th day of December 2018. Not Monday, but we have in the studio again with us this morning none other than Mr. Alfonso Wright, who is the chair of the Celebrate Cayman Committee. And it is my pleasure to have in the studio with me this morning Ms. Debbie Ebanks, who's the head of the currency division at the Monetary Authority. Mr. Fonzo, Ms. Debbie, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, OC, and thanks for having us on the for the record, and also good morning, listening audience, and those that are watching by streaming.
Thank you once more, OC, for the opportunity. Good morning, everybody. We do appreciate the opportunity that you've given us to be back on here and on Wednesday after just being here on Monday. But we had a special announcement, and we asked if you could somehow begged some time to accommodate us, and you've produced.
Yeah,
thank you very much.
And I want to say thank you to MLA Mr. Kenneth Bryan as well for ceding half an hour, 45 minutes of his time this morning to allow you to be back on as well. And
Thanks, Kenneth.
I want you to tell us what we're going to be talking about this morning, because I've been practicing the word commemorative, and I kept practicing it. So instead of me tying up my tongue, I'm going to have you tell us what we're going to be talking about this morning.
Sure. OC, we're happy. Celebrate Cayman, and this is another phase of our year-long celebration. We have been working with SEMA, and particularly with Debbie, who have helped us to be able to offer a commemorative coin for a coat of arms celebration. It is a design that has its final product is absolutely gorgeous. I am in love with it. Between our graphic department with Celebrate Cayman, Miss Caraco, and the I would say experience of the SEMA team, we were able to put something together with the help of their mint as well that I think is going to be hard to beat for a long time as far as beauty is concerned in a coin. It's a lovely silver coin with lots of color in it, which you normally don't get like that. And we are extremely proud of it. It's about ready to go on sale, but I'm not the expert. That's why Debbie's here. So I'm going to ask Debbie to please, let us know about the coin.
Miss Debbie, go right ahead.
Yes. Good morning again. And it was a pleasure to work with the Cayman Celebrate team to bring this to fruition. Most people, when they see the coins, they don't know the intricacies that go into producing a coin. And this is not a circulating coin. This is a commemorative coin. So it takes a bit more to do that. And normally a commemorative coin usually takes anywhere from at least 6 to 9 months to produce. Okay. You have to get the design. You have to, negotiate with the mints and stuff like that.
Right.
But before we get to that point, we have to actually get approvals, so that sometimes can take a bit of process and some red tape that we have to go through, because we just can't up and pick and do it. We have to have cabinet approval. So when the Celebrate Cayman committee contacted us in, I think it was like late April, that they wanted to do a coin. We said, and we knew that the celebration itself was in May. So, we said, that is, we can't produce a coin for that. But it's, it's a year-long celebration. And, people are always looking for unique gifts and stuff for Christmas. So we said, let us push and see if we could get it here and get it done and get it here in time for the Christmas season. And that is what we are looking to do, and that is actually what we are going to do, because we should have the coins in hand by first thing tomorrow morning, and we're hoping to put them on sale. We are going to put them on sale by Monday, the 10th. We may even start sales on Friday, but we see how that goes. But definitely Monday, people can come and collect and purchase them.
Well, certainly when I heard about it on Monday morning, I was all excited, and I started shooting off WhatsApp right away and trying to ensure that I reserve, try to get a few myself.
Yeah, I got your reserve order.
And it's quite timely, for it coming up for the Christmas season, because I am sure, I haven't been able to see the product yet, and unfortunately, we're unable to show it this morning on the show. But I'm sure that it will make a perfect Christmas gift for people, and certainly make their Christmas shopping much easier as well.
Yeah, it's an unusual one. So it's the type of gift that you get for those people who you always give you problems trying to find something for them. The people who already have everything and you don't know what to get them this Christmas.
Yes.
The commemorative Celebrate Cayman coat of arms coin is a perfect gift.
Okay.
Yes.
And for Ms. Deb?
Yeah, and I just want to say that, it's a coin. It has a value, but it only has a face value of $5. But you will pay a lot more than that. So don't come to us thinking that you're going to pay $5 for the coin.
Exactly.
It is actually a .99 fine silver, which is the highest silver you can get, metal content you can get. You can't do 100% because you have to have something else for the coin to make it into a coin. So it's .999 silver, and it's 1 troy ounce, and that is what people are actually buying the type of coins that people are buying for investment purposes. So this one is, while it's a commemorative coin, it can also go into your portfolio because it will go up in price and value at least once the silver goes up, because it is a silver coin. And we spoke about Christmas gifts. It is, like you said, it is a commemorative coin, so it is a limited edition. While we minted 250, only 249 will be available for sale.
And they won't be reminted either.
And no, once they're finished, they're finished. So you can maybe one of the 249 people that will have a coin of that nature. So that itself is unique, and so we're going to, and it's on a first come first serve basis. So people, once they go on sale, people can come and get what they want.
How is it packaged?
It is usually packaged in what the usual way for a commemorative coin. It is in a hard plastic capsule, and then it is put into a metal casing, which is provided by the mint that did it, that produced that minted it, and then we have an outer box covering a casing as well, which has the red, white, and blue and the coat of arms on it. So even the box itself is it's a beautiful thing. I mean, all you have I wouldn't even wrap it. I would just put a tiny little red bow on it if you're planning to give it a gift. That's my idea of it anyway, what I plan to do, because I anticipate in buying maybe 1 or 2 as well for gifts.
Okay, Mr. Fons?
Yeah, OC, I am happy that we were able to do it. We toyed with the numbers as to how much we should order. But we had to listen to the experience of SEMA with the sales that they have, that has happened in the past with commemorative coins, and that kind of seems to be the figure that you can usually get rid of in a reasonable time period, because we don't want to order too many coins and then have them sitting around for a year or so afterwards. We really want to move on from and get rid of them. And that seems to be the kind of magic figure that they recommended based on their sales experience over the past couple of years.
Okay. Now, Ms. Deb, I'm not going to ask you to take any tales out of school, but what for those coin collectors out there, those collectors, what happens to those coins that are undersubscribed that you may have issued in the past? Are they still available through SEMA? Can we still purchase older coins from various events if people wanted them, or once the sale is over, that's it? They're put aside.
No, we still have a few coins now. We have a few programs that are available. We joined partnership with a mint out of the U.S. and they have a series of coins. It started in 2017. It's using the blue marlin, which is an endangered species, or it's a protected species. And so the first year they just did a silver, and we brought in a few of those, and they have sold out, but they are still available at the mint. We can direct people to the website if they want to get those. And then, so this year now, 2018, it's actually a series of 4 coins. They have a silver just a plain silver, then a silver with color, and then have a gold, plain gold, and a gold with color as well. So we do have a few of those that are available, and we last year, I think, actually it was 2015, we did a coin for the museum. And we still have some of those available. And then we have, last year was SEMA's 20th anniversary, so we have a 2017 coin for commemorating SEMA's anniversary. So we have those as well if people are looking for coins to invest in. They are commemorative coins, but they have value with metal content. And we have ways of disposing of any overflow because people sometimes we had programs from years. We've been issuing coins from the time that we came on board when we were the currency board, and that is like 40-something years when we got our first our currency. So over the years, we've had several coins that we think, and so I think there have been coins that we made thousands of and stuff like that. So that was when silver was, a little bit cheaper. And also,
the Hunt brothers, they lost their fortune.
And
in
some
silver.
people, they want to redeem them. They don't want, because the coins are bigger than a circulating coin. They are 39 millimeters in diameter, so they are bigger. But people use them as well to make pendants and stuff like that as well. So
okay, we're going to take a commercial break. When we return, the conversation will continue with Mr. Alfonso Wright, the chairperson of Celebrate Cayman Committee, and Miss Debbie Ebanks, who is the head of currency. The currency department at the Monetary Authority. So please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
The Cayman Islands boasts of a long, colorful, and rich history. In tribute to our roots, Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands, is pleased to bring you the Historical Vignette Series, sponsored by Cayman National Bank. Visit Cayman National Bank today for all of your financial needs. The Cayman Islands, he hath founded it upon the seas.
Commissioner Hurst was a frequent critic of the election system following the September 1911 elections, so he set about changing the system. The elections had proved to be absurd because there were 38 candidates who were standing for 27 seats and only could be voted in by the total 127 electors. While districts such as Georgetown had 10 candidates vying for 5 seats, in Prospect there was a grand total of 15 electors who were voting in 5 seats. The proportionality of the process needed reorganization, and a motion was put forth which reduced the number of vestrymen from 27 to 12, with proportions closer to their population. Georgetown retained 3 seats, West Bay and Boddentown 2 seats, and 1 seat apiece for the sister islands, Prospect, East End, and North Side. Strangely enough, despite the motion passing 17 to 2, the old system of representation would remain in effect for the next 50 years. Information from this historical vignette was sourced from Founded Upon the Seas, A History of the Cayman Islands and Their People by Michael Creighton and the New History Committee.
Radio Cayman's historical facts vignettes are proudly brought to you by Cayman National, with branches on all 3 Cayman Islands. Visit Cayman National Bank today for all of your financial needs.
I need a bank that is convenient for me.
What do you mean?
I need a bank that has easy-to-find locations and plenty ATMs when I need cash on the go.
Oh, well, that's easy. You need to bank with Cayman National. They have 7 customer service centers and 23 ATM locations. The newest one is at the East End Post Office, and I hear there's more to come.
Well, sounds like I need to bank with Cayman National Bank, the convenient bank, because they seem to be everywhere.
Yeah, that's true. Cayman National is everywhere. Surely they are Cayman's convenient bank.
Cayman National Bank. We're here for you.
A trip to New York City is the experience of a lifetime. Starting this December, Cayman Airways will be offering daily non-stop flights from Grand Cayman to New York City. That's right, Cayman Airways is going daily to New York City starting this December. Stroll through Central Park or take in the bright lights of Times Square, enjoy a Broadway show, or visit museums, the Empire State Building, and so much more. Whether you're visiting for business or pleasure, you'll fall in love with New York City. And daily non-stop flights from Grand Cayman aboard Cayman Airways starting this December. For details and to book, call Cayman Airways reservations at 949-2311. Contact a travel agent or visit CaymanAirways.com. You remember the sale at Vamped Motors?
Yeah, the Your Sale, Your Choice. The one where you can get cash back or can put the savings to extend the warranty or upgrade features?
Yes, it's still going on. But now you can get $8,000 off a new Ford Ranger truck. $8,000, you know?
You for real?
Come see for yourself. While they still have so much to choose from, save big during Your Sale, Your Choice at Vamped Motors. With almost every vehicle on sale, you decide whether to get your dream ride at its lowest price. Take cash back, add years to the warranty or service plan. Choose an add-on or mix your options. Your sale, your choice, because you know what you need, and Vamped Motors will help you drive it home. Vamped Motors on Walkers Road.
I remember playing at 7 Mile Beach as a boy, eating mango by the sea, learning how to snorkel. My mother, she worked so hard to provide for our family so that we could have those moments. Seeing her age has been tough. That strong, capable woman, now in need of daily support, it's my time to be strong for her.
CTMH Doctors Hospital Pharmacy understands the importance of the careful decisions you make every day for your family. Our staff work towards healthcare excellence and providing the most current and up-to-date training with pharmaceutical care, so you can feel confident in knowing that your family is safe with the right medication. At CTMH Doctors Hospital Pharmacy, we take care of your health.
You need Fidelity Health. At Fidelity, they offer great coverage through a highly rated and trusted carrier, payments I can afford, and with no on-island deductible on all the plans they offer. Best of all, they offered my company 50% back on the first month's premium.
Make the easy switch to Fidelity today and get 50% cash back on your first month's premium until December 31st. Call 949-7822 to make your switch now.
Hopscotch Entertainment presents tribute to two of the island's greatest bands, Memory of Justice and Humble and the Meek, featuring special guest Freddie Jackson. Alongside special guest Naomi Cohen. This December 7th, 8 p.m. sharp at the Lion Center. Admission is free. Admission is totally free. Featuring special guests Rex and Impulse Band, Lammy Seymour, Edward Solomon, Regeneration Band, Molly and Brian, Gerald Rankin, Dexter Bodden, and Fire Squad. Donations are accepted. Sponsored by the Ministry of Culture, Miracle Brokers, Digicel, Radio Cayman, The Lobster Pot, JN Money Transfer, and the Cayman Islands Music Association. Freddie Jackson, live in concert, Friday, December 7th at the Lion Center. You are my lady.
System 1 loaded.
1-800-534-8255. What is on your mind when it comes to the government, independence, and the opposition? Issues that matter to you. 1-800-534-8255. Waiting to hear from you. For the Record, with your host, Orrett Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. In the studio with me, we have Mr. Alfonso Wright, the chairperson of the Celebrate Cayman Committee. Also with us, we have Miss Debbie Ebanks, who's the head of the Currency Division at the Monetary Authority. And we're talking about the commemorative coin that has been produced by the Monetary Authority. Some persons are asking about the price, and Miss Debbie will talk about that. She's mentioned it before, but she will talk about it again. I can, confidently say to you that I believe the price is going to be less than a pair of Air Jordan sneakers or a Louis Vuitton handbag, as well. I can almost guarantee that.
And it won't wear out.
Right. And for those of you who want to pass on your family heirlooms to the younger generation, it's a good opportunity for you to invest and to pass that on, let that pass through the family as well. But I'll let Ms. Deborah tell you more about that. Ms. Debs.
Yeah. Well, we haven't We don't have the final price yet because there's still a few cost factors that we have to factor in, and we won't know those until they actually arrive. But from our best guesstimate and looking, and based on what we have paid in the past for those services that we need to add on, the coin is looking to be sold at between US dollars 75 and 80 US, and that is what most of our commemorative coins go for. So you're looking at KYD 61.13 to 65.20. So like you said, it's not an Air Jordan cost of an Air Jordan or Louis Vuitton or even a bottle of perfume.
Yeah.
So which will disappear after a few uses.
Sprays, yeah.
So, but getting back to, you had asked earlier about other programs that we have. SEMA has a website, which is www.cima for SEMA.ky, and when you go on, there's a drop down there's a bar for says currency, and then you click on that, and then there's a drop down and it tells you what currency is responsible for, because we're not just commemorative coins.
Right.
Of course, our biggest thing is the currency of the Cayman Islands is what we're responsible for. But and then you'll see in the drop down box option say numismatic programs.
Yes.
So. And you can see what we have done in the past, because we got just about everything. Some of them from the early days back in, because we've been producing coins for the last 40 years. We may not have a picture, but there's a little description. But the majority of the programs, there's a visual, and then it gives you a bit of a history of what it is and what all the specs of the coin. What the metal content is, the size, and then and the color, and how much was added the year that it was minted, and how many coins are out there that's under that umbrella. So there's a lot of there's a lot of information, and I don't want to. I know at the end we normally do our thanks, but I thought I would just throw in at this moment the thanks to the Cayman Celebrate Cayman Committee for approaching us, because we are always looking for ideas of what we can do, and because of what the final cost or final sale price is of a coin, it has to be something significant. We just can't do a commemorative coin for every little thing, because then it will not have that significance. So when they approached us, and we said, we will work our hardest and to endeavor to get it here and get it done. So I am very pleased that we're at that point now. So I just want to thank Fonzo and his and his team, the Celebrate Cayman, and the cabinet, for all their support and for this idea. And of course, my currency team. We are our small team. We're a team of 7. So, we get quite busy with all the other stuff, but we like a challenge, and it gives us, our work is very mundane, so it gives us an opportunity to do something else, and then everybody gets involved. They react, our junior staff, what they think of it. Is this how we should do it? And so it was a collaborative effort within the team of at SEMA. And then, of course, the Mint. I can't say enough for the Mint. This was a Mint that had approached us to do a project with them, and we are doing that. They produced a Marlin coin, and we had seen some other coins that they have produced, especially with color, and we said, let's see how this goes, and it's turned out, it's just truly amazing. Once you get that in your hand and you see the coin, it is really, they did a fantastic job. So I wanted to do shout outs and say thanks to the Scottsdale Mint as well for their effort in this project.
And for the benefit of our listening and viewing audience, again, the number that has been produced, the number that will be available, and it is a one-time production.
Yeah, we minted 250, but only 249 will be on sale, because we do keep one coin for our museum, which we hope to establish one day that people can walk through and see all our history. And so we do that, and then we have 249. We're located on the ground floor of the Government Administration Building, so parking is easy. The people can park behind the Immigration Department and walk across. And of course, they can call us, and we can have everything pretty much ready for you, that when you come, you can just hand us the money and we can hand it back.
Can pay by cash, check, debit card?
Just cash or check.
Cash or check.
Yeah, we don't do debit cards as yet. That is something that we're working on, but it is a little bit more intricate than that for us. At CIMA, we have to, we're cash basis. We're on cash and check.
Okay, excellent. Well, we've reached that time, but it was a pleasure having you here, and I'm sure that our listening and viewing audience have all taken everything in, and we encourage you, if you want to get one or maybe more than one of those coins, you have to be on the ball, because it's only 249 of them, and I've already ordered 200 for myself, so only 49 left. Thank you very much for being here, Mr. Fonzo. Thank you again. Folks, please stay tuned. We're going to the 8 o'clock news. When we return after the 8 o'clock news, we will have MLA Mr. Kenneth Bryan in the studio with us.
And studio time now by Price Right is 8 a.m.
Price Right is Grand Cayman's warehouse shopping superstore, making your dollar go further with huge savings and no membership fees. Get more of the things you use every day at the right price. But it's not just grocery and health and beauty. Price Right has a full range of products, from office to automotive, patio furnishings to kitchen appliances, and even electronics. And since warehouse prices mean savings for you, everything is priced right at Price Right, Grand Cayman's warehouse shopping superstore.
Access to information.
Your community. News and information. Radio Cayman is your choice, your voice for today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman.
With your latest news, I'm Carsley Fuller. Monday marked International Day for Persons with Disabilities. CIG-TV's Donna Bush has more.
The yellow T-shirts of staff and students of the Sunrise Adult Training Center made the sunshine a little brighter on Monday. The group joined His Excellency the Acting Governor, Mr. Franz Manderson, on the steps of the Government Administration Building to mark International Day for Persons with Disabilities. Also known as Sunrise, the center has a busy few weeks planned in the lead up to the holidays. Also present for the photo opportunity were Acting Cabinet Secretary Mr. Robert Lewis, whose office provides secretariat services to the Disabilities Council member Sherry Smith, PhD, and member of the Disabilities and Older Persons Council, Mrs. Rose Miles.
The Sunrise Adult Training Center is holding a family Christmas service at John Gray Memorial Church at 6:30 on December 12th. And a grand farewell for retiring University College of the Cayman Islands president Dr. Roy Bodden at the campus in Georgetown Monday night.
It must be an institution dedicated to the idea that learning is a public good.
In his remarks, Mr. Bodden told friends, family, faculty, and dignitaries the institution also has another valuable role to play.
In a public sphere saturated by prejudice and personal opinions, it seems to me that the University College of the Cayman Islands has a special role to play in the fostering of reasoned debate, whatever the topic may be.
In regional news, the Caribbean Agricultural Health and Food Safety Agency and the International Atomic Energy Agency have signed an agreement to pursue areas of technological cooperation in the use of nuclear science and technology for sustainable agricultural health and food safety in the Caribbean. The agreement was inked at the headquarters of the IAEA in Vienna, Austria last week. The practical arrangement provides the framework for collaboration to address challenges faced by the member states of both organizations, as well as small island developing states in improving their agricultural sector. The objective of these arrangements is to set forth the framework for non-exclusive cooperation between the parties in the area of technological cooperation in the use of nuclear science and technology for sustainable agricultural health and food safety. Now with a check of international news, here's the BBC, who will take us out of the newscast. I'm Kersley Fuller from Radio Cayman's newsroom.
BBC News. Police in Europe and South America have carried out a major operation against the Italian mafia, arresting nearly 90 people and seizing large quantities of drugs and cash. The raids targeted the 'Ndrangheta mafia, based in the southern Italian region of Calabria. They're involved in money laundering, drugs, bribery and violence. Turkey has issued arrest warrants for 2 former close aides to the Saudi Crown Prince, who have been accused of involvement in the murder of the journalist Jamal Khashoggi in Istanbul. The 2 were sacked following the killing, but Turkish officials say they don't believe Saudi Arabia will take formal action against them. A British academic accused of spying and jailed in the United Arab Emirates has told the BBC he contemplated suicide because he was put under psychological torture. Matthew Hedges was given a life sentence but was later pardoned and returned to the UK last week. MPs in Sudan say they're in favour of changing the constitution to allow President Omar al-Bashir to run for a 3rd term in 2020. He came to power in a coup nearly 30 years ago. Sudan currently has a 2-term limit. A traditional ruler in northern Nigeria has urged the government to give assault rifles to local militiamen to support their fight against gangs of armed criminals involved in cattle rustling and kidnaps. The Emir of Anka said local vigilantes had nothing but cudgels to defend themselves against criminals with AK-47 rifles. Heavy rain has paralysed public services in the eastern Libyan city of Benghazi. Flights have been suspended. An elderly Indian woman who shot to fame on YouTube for her cooking skills has died. The family of Mustanama said she was 107 years old. Her YouTube channel had hundreds of videos of her whipping up her signature dishes. BBC News.
Access information.
What's happening in your community? News and information, music and more. You can find us. www.radiocayman.gov.ky. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. Radio Cayman is your choice, your voice for today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman.
Matt Brown and Rita Estevanovich star in the Cayman Christmas Comedy Show. A gift from the CNCF to you. Yay! Christmas Comedy Show. I am excited.
Well, I don't want to see it.
Too bad. You're in it.
Me in a show?
It's the bestest, most festivus Christmas show ever. Coming to your district between December 11th to 16th. Visit Facebook/Cayman Culture for all the details. Yes. I am going. Definitely I am going.
Stay connected and share your favorite holiday moments with Flow. Pick up the Alcatel A1 from $70 or the Samsung J2 Pro, packed with sweet features from $130. Every week you can win cash and prizes in our Cash Cube when you top up. Also check out our weekly top-up specials. Visit Flow's Facebook and Instagram pages to follow the deals. Plus, top up $25 or more for plenty chances to win great Flow holiday prizes. So make it Flow for everything mobile this Christmas. Visit discoverflow.ky for more. Terms and conditions apply.
In financial news, global stock prices tumbled today after Wall Street plunged amid confusion about what Washington and Beijing agreed to in a tariff ceasefire. Keeping score in early trading, London's FTSE 100 index fell 1.3% to 6,932, and Germany's DAX lost 1.1% to 11,207. France's CAC 40 retreated 1.2% to 4,951. On Tuesday, the DAX lost 1.1%, the CAC 40 shed 0.8%, and the FTSE slid 0.6%. On Wall Street, the future for the Standard & Poor's 500 index was up 0.45%, and that for the Dow Jones Industrial Average gained a quarter percentage point. Looking at Asia's day, Hong Kong's Hang Seng Index fell 1.6% to 26,819, and the Shanghai Composite Index declined 0.6% to 2,649. Tokyo's Nikkei 225 lost half a percentage point to 21,919, and Seoul's Kospi gave up 0.8% to 2,101. In energy, benchmark U.S. crude fell 54 cents to $52.71 per barrel in electronic trading on the New York Mercantile Exchange. The contract rose 30 cents on Tuesday to close at $53.25. Brent crude, used to price international oils, lost 66 cents to $61.42 per barrel in London. It gained 39 cents the previous session at $62.08. And in currencies, the dollar gained to 112.96 yen from Wednesday's 112.78 yen. The euro fell to 1.1339 from 1.1343.
Hello, I'm Arthur Ebanks.
And I'm Angela Ebanks, owners of Savannah Pharmacy.
On behalf of the entire Savannah Pharmacy family, we would like to wish all of our Cayman families a very Merry Christmas and safe and prosperous New Year.
Remember, we're always just around the corner in Countryside Shopping Village with everything your family needs this holiday season.
We look forward to continuing to serve you and your loved ones throughout 2019.
This is Cayman Up Close, a weekly special feature from Radio Cayman News.
I'm Shanda Gallego.
Shanda Gallego goes behind the scenes with Cayman's newsmakers, artists, and emerging talent to get their unique and personal experience, their real story.
This week, we turn the spotlight.
Sundays at noon, 6:10 p.m. and 10:10 p.m. and always online at radiocayman.gov.ky. Tune in for Cayman Up Close this weekend.
Your weather update after 8 is brought to you by Brand Source Home Gallery, creating elegant bathrooms with European-style fixtures and fittings.
Plus, a good morning. Time now for the latest weather report. Synopsis indicate moderate to fresh northeasterly winds and moderate seas expected today as a cold front moves over the eastern Gulf of Mexico and the associated high-pressure system builds over the southern United States. Radar images show isolated showers in and around the Cayman area moving west. Now the forecast for the Cayman Islands for today calling for partly cloudy skies with a 20% chance of showers, and temperatures will rise to the mid to upper 80s. Winds will be northeast 10 to 15 knots and seas will be slight to moderate with wave heights of 2 to 4 feet. Tonight, pretty much the same, partly cloudy skies with a 30% chance of late night showers, and temperatures will fall to the mid-70s. Your winds will be northeast 15 to 20 knots. Seas will be slight to moderate with wave heights of 2 to 4 feet. High tide will occur this morning at 9, low tide this afternoon at 4 minutes past 3, and a high tide again tonight at 12 minutes after 8. Sunset 5:45, sunrise 6:47, and the outlook is calling for fresh winds and rough seas from Thursday morning through Friday morning as a high-pressure system builds over the Gulf of Mexico. Some cooler temperatures coming to us. That's the very latest on your weather. Join us again at about 12:10 for another weather report.
Weather update after 8 is brought to you by Brand Source Home Gallery, creating elegant bathrooms with European-style fixtures and fittings. Babe, not tonight. I need to be rested for all-day meetings tomorrow.
What are you talking about? I was almost asleep.
You keep poking me, and I can't sleep.
That's the mattress spring I keep telling you about. Not me. We really need to get a new mattress.
Tossing and turning, back hurting, can't sleep? It might be time to turn in your old mattress and go to bed with a new one. Browse the huge mattress showroom at Brand Source Home Gallery and pick the perfect mattress today. With mattresses to suit every budget, Brand Source Home Gallery stocks a wide selection of sizes and styles like pillow top and gel memory foam. So stop tossing and turning and sleep better tonight with a new mattress from Brand Source Home Gallery, Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park.
Top of the morning to you, and time to take a look at what's happening traffic-wise. On North Sound Road from the Butterfield roundabout heading towards the Industrial Park area, traffic moving along steady but flowing. Godfrey Nixon Way and Eastern Avenue, traffic is also moderate. Busy traffic on Shamrock Road and also on the Linford-Payson Highway, heavy traffic. And steady traffic coming off Bobby Thompson Way. And traffic is also steady on Agnes Way off the Linford-Payson Highway. And traffic moving a little slow in some areas of Cool Road, other areas a little busier. From the Westway 4-way stoplight to moderate traffic flow. And on Shedden Road, traffic heading into Georgetown is moderate and light traffic out of Georgetown on Shedden Road. On the West Bay Road in front of the Ritz, traffic is moderate in both directions. And light traffic on Owen Roberts Drive. That's the very latest on your traffic. Join us again at about 10 minutes after 12 or 10 or 12 minutes after 12 as we update you traffic-wise. Have a good morning and buckle up.
There's an old-time cultural gender-neutral saying that goes like this: once a man, twice a child. Children and the elderly are our more vulnerable citizens. They depend on the strong to get through the day. Child abuse and elderly abuse is never okay. You were once a child, and one day you too will hopefully become an elderly person. Stop the slap. Stop the cycle. Stop the violence.
The Stop the Slap campaign has been proudly sponsored by Cayman National Bank. Stop the slap. Stop the cycle. Stop the violence.
It's more than what we do. It's who we are. We were your official bank of the quincentennial celebrations in 2003. We were your Bank of the Year 4 times. We were voted as the inaugural top employer in 2010. We were the inaugural Business of the Year awardee in 2017. Who are we? We are Cayman National, your local bank, proudly serving you for over 40 years. It's because of you that our journey continues.
Did you know that recycling collection containers are located island-wide on Grand Cayman? The Department of Environmental Health's program is an integral part of DEH's waste management responsibility in the Cayman Islands. Start your recycling program at home today. Put your type 1 and 2 plastics in appropriate DEH recycling containers at all Foster's supermarkets, Kirk Market, or Hurley's Grand Harbor. Please keep the Cayman Islands clean. Reduce, reuse, and recycle. For more information about recycling, go to www.deh.gov.ky.
In local sports, a record crowd of over 350 people attended the Cayman versus the World tennis match on Saturday night. Fans were treated to exciting mixed doubles, men's doubles, and men's single matches, featuring international professionals Peter Polansky, Davis Cup star for Canada, and Nicholas Monroe, number 30, 2018 in doubles. The two internationals began the night by playing for 1 hour with the elite juniors from Cayman in a training session that will inspire the youngsters for years to come. That was followed by Monroe and local Lauren Fullerton versus Polansky and CITC tennis pro Yana Koroleva in a very close 4-3 match won by Monroe and Fullerton. This was then followed by Monroe and Polansky taking on locals Nigel Mitten and promising local star Callum Thieker. The two internationals came up with some outstanding shot making, but despite some strong play from the local Caymanians, Monroe and Polansky prevailed 4-1. The night concluded with a very exciting match between the two pros, Monroe and Polansky. Polansky displayed superior play that took him to an early 3-0 lead. Monroe fought back with cheers of the capacity crowd to 3-2. Polansky then closed out the match with an incredible passing shot that had Monroe diving. The two internationals are now heading to the Australian Open.
Initiating system.
For information that matter, For the Record with Orrett Connor continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. It is now my pleasure to let you know that we have in the studio with us none other than Mr. Kenneth Bryan, MLA, who represents Georgetown Central in our Legislative Assembly. And again, Mr. Bryan, I want to thank you for ceding some of your time this morning to allow the Celebrate Cayman chairperson, Mr. Alfonso Wright, and the head of the Currency Division at the Monetary Authority, Ms. Debbie Ebanks, to be in the studio with us to talk about the commemorative coin that has been produced for celebrating 60 years of a coat of arms in the Cayman Islands. I want to thank you, and I know today's a very special day for you too also as well, and you may want to mention, I'm not sure if the young one is listening on the radio, but you may want to shout her out as well. Mr. Bryan, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, OC, and thank you so much for allowing me to be here again. And it was my honor to allow the two fine guests that you had on the show this morning talking about something so important. I actually look forward myself to purchasing a few of those coins myself to give to a few persons that are of interest to me, and for me to have my own. What they are fighting for and championing is something that is so important to our community in respect to the celebration of Cayman. I think they said it best yesterday. It's not about celebrating just 60th anniversary, but celebrate Cayman, period. Yeah. There's always a reason and a time to celebrate Cayman, and they're creating an environment that is so positive to true, how Mr. Bush says it, nation building. So that's an act of nation building, celebrating your nation and your country. So, but yes, today is a very special day for my lovely young daughter just turned 18 years old. I'm sorry, 8. Wow.
I said to myself when I heard 18, I said for the young one.
You know what? I think I'm just scared of 18. That's probably why I'm saying it. But yeah, today
Freudian slip, huh?
Yes. Today is her 8th birthday. She's currently not listening because she's in school where she should be. But I'll probably always go back to YouTube like I always do and show it to her. So, Sienna, Daddy loves you very much and happy birthday. You're growing to be such a lovely young lady and Daddy's so proud of you. Also, I would like to say happy belated birthday to my mother, whose was yesterday.
Yes, I heard that yesterday.
So, happy birthday, Mommy, again. Even though we had a good time yesterday, got her some gifts and spent some time together. And she cooked some conch for me. So, I was so happy yesterday afternoon. You know, my mom
did it have pie in it?
Oh, it had everything in it.
Some people don't like. I know Graham. He doesn't like the conch with the pie in it.
You gotta have pie. If you don't have
if you're
pie,
a Georgetown conch eater,
you gotta have
pie in it.
Yeah. So, and funny enough, my daughters love the pie so much. They're like, you have to have pie. It has to have obviously the conch. But if you can throw like 3/4 of it being pie, they'd be just as happy with the rice, you know. So yeah. A lot to talk about this morning. I know we have a little time, but I just came back.
We have a lot of time, you know. It's an hour and change.
Good. I just came back, and I would like to show you.
Oh, yes. I saw the on Facebook as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I had a good time. Let me just not make it sound like I was up there partying.
Right? Yeah.
Take a look at that.
Yes.
I just came back from a Commonwealth Parliamentary Association seminar. And as you can see there, it's about training parliamentarians how to be effective in their parliaments. Yeah. So how do you improve democracy in its sense? Because that's what a parliament is. And you know one thing I am so excited to deal with today. You know our good friend, a person I love and respect so much, the Dr. Honorable Steve Macfield says, Kenneth, make sure it's not a parliament, it's a legislative assembly. Well, I've gotten the definition quite sorted out, and I made sure to speak to some parliamentarians over there, and they said fundamentally there's no difference.
Right.
And believe it or not, I had an opportunity to go over to Wales to see their assembly, and they're actually fighting right now for a name change because what the United Kingdom did in respect to many of the territories is give them the name of assembly because it was seen to be a little bit of a inferior parliament. And some people are pushing back from this notion of assembly now and saying, listen, we're a parliament just like yours, and there's fundamentally no difference. And I think
it's no more than nomenclature, really.
Exactly. Exactly. So ideally I'm kind of cool. I feel happy about calling my assembly a parliament because I don't think the UK or any other country in the world is better than mine. So if you hear me say it back and forth, it's not because I think that I am not certain about what I'm saying, but I like the prominence of it all. So as I was saying, I went off to the UK about a week and a half ago. We went over there to Parliament. We were part of the Commonwealth Parliamentary Association, was doing a seminar talking about how to be an effective parliamentarian in your respective parliaments. And some of the training was seeing the difference in the structure of democracy in the various different countries. And as you know, the Commonwealth is made up of many different countries: New Zealand, Canada, many of the Caribbean islands, parts of India, Pakistan, Japan is still perceived as part of the CPA, Commonwealth Parliamentary Association. So they had variety of parliamentarians and representatives from across the world, and we sat and examined the differences between the two. How do your standing committees work? How do your speakers operate with their standing orders? And things that we can learn from each other to make your structure of scrutiny and governance better, so ultimately the people benefit. Because people will say, well, Kenneth, what is your training have to do with me as a Caymanian? I still got to pay my bills, and how you going off that training is going to help me. Well, technically, as we know, if you have a stronger democracy that has the proper checks and balances in place, you have better outcomes and solutions for you. You have less potential corruption, and therefore better policies by constant reflection. Like one of the things I learned is that we don't have a standing bills committee. And what does a person understand as what is that? Well, basically what Standing Bills Committee is, before a bill comes to the House, before it can even be negotiated, what we have to do is go into a select committee and we sit down and examine what the repercussions of this bill will be, how it will affect the people. Because right now the drafting department drafts a bill basically to change something to affect the people in some way or another. We bring it to the House and members are expected to debate it there and then. And by then, like what one of the MPs over there said, the animal is already created.
Yes,
it's too late.
yes.
The government is a very slim chance of the government changing that bill at that stage. And the only stage is that if we get a little agreement with the other side to say, please make this little amendment. They'll say, okay, I'll get a little blight, and in the amendment stages we amend it. But a standing House committee, standing Bills committee, what it allows you to do is break off separately for a little while, examine it, have banter and an analysis of what it does, and make the amendments, then bring it back to the House. And then, therefore, you get what you would call a more refined bill that everybody can include. And what you will have after that is less debate, because we have sometimes where members, I do it myself, and we sit there for 2 hours talking, trying to get out what we want about the bill that is we seem as wrong or should. But as much as you may snap your gums, ain't going to change. Where you need to change that is in a standing House committee, standing Bills committee. And that's one of the things that hopefully what I intend to do in the new year after the Christmas and all that, in the next sitting, I want to bring a motion to ask the government to implement that next stage of democracy where it gives accountability and scrutiny to these types of things.
Yeah. And of course, our your standing orders does allow for committees to be formed. And I've always maintained that we have not used that function in our legislative assembly as often as we should.
Yes.
The ones that I can recall were mostly on immigration. I remember in 1997 there was a committee that was, and of course, usually it ends up being a committee of the whole House.
Yes.
That was established to hear about people's complaints about immigration, their issues that they had, with the immigration law before drafting the new immigration law. But it is rarely used in the Cayman Islands. And I believe, and I'm not saying this in a derogatory way, but for the kind of money that our members of the Legislative Assembly are paid here, and for the amount of quote-unquote free time that we believe they have between the sittings of the House of Assembly, that there's more that can be done, as far as
commitment to this.
Yes, precisely.
Well, I agree with you 100%. But one of the things that I learned even through this seminar was we may think that we have a lot of free time between the sitting of the House. But what does the public think about that free time? I agree with you. Ideally, that's supposed to be focused on improving legislation and the processes and the structure of going through those committees and those commitments. So you're going to a job every single day, particularly for those in the opposition, should have time committed to that. But what I find is that what people elect, what they believe, or when they vote for them, what do you actually think you're voting for? Because I know, and I love it, that many of my people think that they want to see me a lot. They want me in the community, doing community events. And that's more of a community officer. And you're directly on the ground. But what you're actually voting for is legislators and policymakers and persons who are going to scrutinize or implement government structure. And that takes serious commitment, or a lot of hours that you may not be able to do the community work that is expected of you as a legislator. But too bad. You've been elected. Figure it out. So for me, I must say I don't have a life, because I think that part of that commitment to committees, the committee to the structure of democracy, and being involved from a scrutiny standpoint from opposition is a very important role I take seriously. So I commit a lot of time to that. But I can't tell my community and my voters that I can't be out there in the street. So I don't have a life. And that's why I stand up for it. And I'm comfortable with that. But that doesn't mean we shouldn't improve it. Because one thing that the Honourable Dr. Steve McPhail talks about is district councils as well. And that's where district council members are supposed to be doing the community work. But I dare say, you may be surprised to hear me say this today, but I agree with the Honourable Premier after reflection, going over there and sitting with a district council. I went away with one of the MPs, and I know we may run out of time, but this is a certificate from one of the MPs that I was with for the day, and he allowed me to examine his district council and his members and explain how the members work and what they do. But how district councils work in the UK?
Oh, much different.
Oh,
much
totally different.
Yeah, completely, much larger, involved in everything, housing and all that
everything.
stuff. Yes,
like, for example,
council housing and things.
The district council of the MP that I went to see, Mr. Andrew, his district council's budget was over £600 million. And that's how severe those members
That's Andrew Rosendale?
Yes. And he's a member of a committee in charge of the overseas territories.
Right.
So it was a pleasure to actually meet with him. But the commitment from those district councils is totally different in the UK, and I don't think that structure could work in the Cayman Islands. So we have to, I agree with the Premier now saying that we have to really examine the legislation that we currently have and reform it. Now, how long we take into reforming is a different question. Now, I don't agree with that. I think we should have done that ages ago.
And decide what functions we want them to perform.
Exactly. Exactly. So we really need to have that discussion right away. I don't want this to be all the way till 2021 before it happens again. So
we're making a mockery of our constitution when we don't do it, if we don't do it right. Let's take a commercial break, folks. Please stay tuned. The conversation with Mr. Kenneth Bryan will continue right after this short commercial break.
You remember the sale at Vamp Motors?
Yeah, the Your Sale, Your Choice. The one where you can get cash back or can put the savings to extend the warranty or upgrade features?
Yes, it's still going on. But now you can get $8,000 off a new Ford Ranger truck. $8,000, you know?
You for real?
Come see for yourself. While they still have so much to choose from, save big during Your Sale, Your Choice at Vamp Motors. With almost every vehicle on sale, you decide whether to get your dream ride at its lowest price. Take cash back, add years to the warranty or service plan. Choose an add-on or mix your options. Your sale, your choice, because you know what you need, and Vamp Motors will help you drive it home. Vamp Motors on Walkers Road. Just ask anyone that's tried Chef John's barbecue and catering service.
Chef John, he's Cayman's very own top chef, I tell you.
Chef John serves up a fantastic finger-licking special of pork spare ribs, chicken, and steak with all of the trimmings and Chef John's very own special sauce. Serving 7 Mile Beach Friday and Saturday, Spot on Thursday from 4 to 9 p.m.
They say you can't buy happiness. They are wrong.
Call Chef John today at 929-1147 to place your order. Relax and take a break from making dinner tonight and call Chef John's Barbecue. Finger-licking delicious barbecue for the whole family. The number again, 929-1147.
Oh, this Christmas, Kirk Freeport is wishing everyone peace, love, joy, and $40,000 in prizes. Win one of the multiple $5,000 and $1,000 cash prizes just for shopping at your favorite Kirk Freeport store. Purchases of $100 before noon on Christmas Eve qualify for all remaining prize draws. There's even a Rolex watch prize draw on January 2nd, and loads of other great prizes. Peace, love, joy, and the island's biggest Christmas sweepstakes. Only from Kirk Freeport. Full details on kirkfreeport.com. Merry Christmas from Kirk Freeport.
Did you get your dad a gift?
Get who?
Christmas shopping's gonna drive me insane.
Come on. Want to get your Christmas shopping on a roll?
Join us on New Flex for our Christmas finale.
We will sit down with Junior Achievement to talk about their JE.
Christmas Market.
Tune in to Youth Flex this Wednesday on 89.9 FM at 4 to 5 p.m. to celebrate the season with Junior Achievement as we plan our shopping spree at the JA Christmas Market.
Retain your peace of mind by installing a reliable generator, knowing that your family is safe and secure during a power outage. At Corporate Electric, we care about the well-being of our customers and their loved ones. We are the official distributor of Kohler SDMO generators in the Cayman Islands and can conduct a free assessment of your house to suggest the perfect fit. Call us at 946-2277. Visit our website or the Facebook page for more details.
System 1 loaded.
1-800-534-8255. What is on your mind when it comes to the government, independence, and the opposition? Issues that matter to you. 1-800-534-8255. Waiting to hear from you. For the Record with your host, Orrett Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. In the studio with me this morning, MLA, Mr. Kenneth Bryan. Mr. Bryan was telling us about his trip to the UK. Not a fun trip, but one to learn about parliamentary procedures, about Parliament. And he mentioned the use of committees in many parliaments, many legislatures, many houses of assemblies as well. And I wanted to ask him, for those participants who were there and those that you were able to converse with, how many find themselves in similar situations with us here in the Cayman Islands where there is other than committee stage of bills or having what's the one that the leader of the opposition is the chair of Public Accounts Committee. Other than those, how many find themselves not having any other committees that are established for other purposes?
Well, to be honest, OC, there were so many people who. Let me just go back a little bit.
Sure.
The first day, actually the second day, which was Tuesday. One of the sessions that we had was the impact of committees, and it was talking about this session will look into the experiences of committee chairs and its members and the roles and focusing on the impact of committees that they can have in respect to policy. So we examined each other, and it was so many people go, oh, you don't have this? Or why you have that implemented so people can understand. Like one of the things that we don't have is a standing orders committee, which updates constantly the standing orders. Because
you sure we don't have one? We don't have one of those here in Cayman?
It is not one that is functioning. I'll say that.
Okay.
I know that there have been the Speaker of the House has been advocating for an updated one, and you know that we're going to have an independent legislative assembly shortly, and I know Mr. Bush is adamant about fixing those structures so that the legislative assembly works better. And just for record purposes, he was actually supposed to go to this, but unfortunately another matter arose, and then I was quickly swapped in place for him to go, and I was so glad because I got to learn so much.
Sure.
But these types of things is exactly what we're trying to do to make our parliament more effective. And you are 100% right. There's so many other commonwealths who have different variations of their structure of their parliaments. So they're missing certain things. Like they don't have certain committees and understand the reason why those committees are there. Now, a person may say a standing bill committee may actually lengthen the time for something to actually get changed. Because like, we got to go into committee stage and you have to wait till the next sitting of the House before you get the results of that committee. But it may take a little bit longer, but you get better, more refined results in respect to what that bill does, because it gives more scrutiny and more examination and more buy-in, because in most committees, you have a reasonably good balance of persons from the opposition and persons from the government. Obviously, the government will always have the majority, but say, for instance, in most standing committees in Cayman, it's usually at least 3 government members and 2 opposition members. So at that stage, the opposition can put their views and their concerns in rather than through the debate. And don't waste as much time in the Legislative Assembly on the floor of the House debating about a concern, because you've already flushed that out throughout the standing committee. But, obviously during the debate is sometimes when the politics come in, you shine and you argue and debate. But as much as I want to shine, I want to make sure that my concerns are addressed. You can say back to me, well, okay, we have considered that, but here's why we won't do it. You can invite specialists to come and give evidence and thoughts and viewpoints and positions on the bill and why it's that way. You don't get to do that without that committee formed. And it's such an important stage. And I think that one thing about the Honourable Premier Alan McLaughlin is that I think he's a stickler for structure and how the parliament is formed. And I think he would agree with something like that. I can't see him saying no. I'm interested to wait till he gets back from the constitutional discussions to sit with him and say, I want to bring a motion such as this to have this kind of committee. Would you support it? And if he tells me no, I'll be surprised, because it's so important to the structure of democracy and scrutiny. And I know you heard this word scrutiny a lot, but committees, that's their foundation, is for scrutiny. It's another filtering process to make sure that the outcome on the other side is good. If you don't have these systems in place, potential influence and corruption, and I hate to use the word corruption because it's a far-fetched allegation, but if somebody wanted to be malicious in some way, without those filters in there, it can't be caught. And this is why sometimes something as simple as a law being passed without consideration and the effect of it could be harmful to somebody is because those stages of filtering hasn't been there. So overall, from that committee session, I am so happy to see that other countries learned as well, and many of them, there's some other notes that I'm probably going to get to later on in the show that talks about other types of structures that are in their parliament that we can use effectively. But it's a matter of trying to convince all members to change it, because you're talking about fundamental change of how your parliament works.
And if we are talking about, and if we want to move forward constitutionally, then we have to have these structures in place so that we prepare our parliamentarians, our members of the Legislative Assembly, prepare them for performing additional functions that may be provided later, that may be needed later on. I mean, right now, the bill gets scrutiny in the Legislative Assembly of sorts in terms of your debate, and like you said, you may have an opportunity to have some committee stage amendments. Then it goes off. Once everyone votes for it, it goes off, and it is then given to the governor for him to assent to it. He may or may not assent to it, depending on what the UK may tell him to do at that stage. And basically, then you end up with a law at the end of the day. But like you're pointing out, more can be done as far as parliamentarians are concerned to ensure that law is effective, because you're mainly relying on the government and cabinet and the government at the end of the day, because they're going to have the final say in what's there, because they have the numbers to vote.
Exactly.
To vote the legislation.
And OCU highlighted a very good point is about responsibility and understanding and training of what to do in respect to these policies and bills. And it brings me back to the Thursday's session where we went to Wales. And they have implemented something there which I was blown away by, and I really hope that we can have... sorry, I'm just trying to find the Thursday's notes. Wales, okay. What they have implemented there is a committee totally committed to training of its members. You're talking about leadership training, speaking training, questioning training, parliamentary procedure training, bills training, because they recognize that you may have somebody who is a leader of your community and have been elected, but that doesn't mean that person knows anything about finance and a budget. They may not know anything about how a bill's process works.
9 times out of 10.
9 times out of 10, none of them know. And then what we have here is, I'm going to be honest with you, I was elected, and you're thrown into the deep end and you say, figure it out. There's no training available at all. They have because ultimately, if your members are not effective in their duties, then you're going to have an inadequate democracy. They can't do their job, even if they're on the government side, bringing strong policies that can stand up to anything, and you don't have opposition members who are creatively skill set to scrutinize what the government is there to do. So they offer training constantly. And I remember one member said over a period of 16 years, he went to 59 different programs over 16 years that was offered by the parliament for free from the very day he got in, and he can just sign up for it. This is why I'm so excited whenever I get opportunities like this to go to the Commonwealth Parliamentary Association, because that's the only training that is actually available to members of parliament. I mean, and this is another thing where throughout the election you hear persons go, well, boy, we make sure that we have to elect somebody who has a master's degree or what have you,
or a law degree,
and all that. You can be an accountant but know nothing about bills. You can be an accountant but don't know nothing about social policy and how it works. So these types of trainings are important on a constant basis for your members of parliament, particularly for the brand new ones. And I would really like to see that, and I think that I can speak to the Honourable Speaker about this, to have a set layout of training available for new members, that within their first year, there's some foundation training courses that they have to do, regardless if they know them or not, because effectively they'll know what to do. You know how many times people talk about some members who come and they go, they haven't given 1 ounce of contribution for 4 years or for 2 years, or you haven't heard our speech by them yet.
Yeah.
It's because they don't know.
Right.
They're a great person in the community. We voted for them. We think them personally, but they need the skill set to be effective parliamentarians, and that's what this course is really about.
Okay. We're going to take a commercial break. We have one caller. We're going to ask that caller to hang in there. After the commercial break, we will come directly to you, so please stay tuned.
The Cayman Pharmacy Group would like to thank the Cayman communities for their continuous support for over the past decade. CTMH Doctors Hospital Pharmacy opened its doors in March 2000. West Bay Pharmacy first opened their doors in March 2004. The Cayman Pharmacy Group was established in July 2007. Throughout the years, our CPG family has provided more than just pharmaceuticals to our loyal friends and customers. The Cayman Pharmacy Group has protected the lives of our medical community by securing the best healthcare advice and pharmaceutical services. To us at CPG, you are more than just a number. So, we are taking the time to say thank you for choosing CPG. The Cayman Pharmacy Group, taking care of your health.
A trip to New York City is the experience of a lifetime. Starting this December, Cayman Airways will be offering daily non-stop flights from Grand Cayman to New York City. That's right, Cayman Airways is going daily to New York City starting this December. Stroll through Central Park or take in the bright lights of Times Square. Enjoy a Broadway show or visit museums, the Empire State Building, and so much more. Whether you're visiting for business or pleasure, you'll fall in love with New York City. And daily non-stop flights from Grand Cayman aboard Cayman Airways starting this December. For details and to book, call Cayman Airways reservations at 949-2311. Contact a travel agent or visit CaymanAirways.com.
Excuse me, I noticed you from afar.
Really? Me?
Well, not you. The KFC sandwich you're eating?
Oh, Zinger.
Sorry, I'm not trying to be funny.
No, it's called the Zinger Sandwich. Crunchy, juicy, 100% chicken breast, crisp lettuce, sweet mayo on a seeded bun with a little zing. KFC's chicken is not factory-breaded, frozen and refried like the Burger Boys. Customize your KFC Zinger and dip it in barbecue sauce.
Wow, now I'm starting to notice you too.
KFC, it's finger-licking good.
You remember the sale at Vant Motors?
Yeah, the Your Sale, Your Choice, the one where you can get cash back or can put the savings to extend the warranty or upgrade features?
Yes, it's still going on, but now you can get $8,000 off a new Ford Ranger truck. $8,000, you know?
You for real?
Come see for yourself. While they still have so much to choose from, save big during Your Sale, Your Choice at Vant Motors. With almost every vehicle on sale, you decide whether to get your dream ride at its lowest price. Take cash back, add years to the warranty or service plan. Choose an add-on or mix your options. Your sale, your choice, because you know what you need, and Vant Motors will help you drive it home. Vant Motors on Walkers Road.
Initiating system.
For information that matters, for the record, with Orrett Connor, continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. Going straight to the phone lines as promised. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, Mr. For the Record.
Morning, Doc. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
Fine, thanks.
And good morning to your guest, Mr. Kenneth Bryan.
Good morning, Dr. Matfield.
I would just like to start with a question. Both of you.
Mm-hmm.
Were you able to watch the debate yesterday in the UK Parliament on the question of the advice that the government received about leaving the EU?
No, I wasn't able to watch it, but I did read portions of it on online.
So at the end of the day, what did you gather from the results?
What did I gather? In terms of what the decision that was rendered, or the debate itself? Well, the decision, and your colleague Jeffrey Cox, who's the Attorney General, has opined at the end of the day that that it is still possible for the UK, if they were to leave the European Union, they're doing it unilaterally of sorts, and they could unilaterally rejoin. Is that part of it?
The point is that Parliament asks the government to give them the advice.
Yeah, because they gave them a redacted part of it before.
And you give them a summary
Yes.
of the advice.
Uh-huh.
And they held them in contempt of Parliament for disobeying what Parliament asks for.
Right.
And what that tells you, that in the UK, Parliament is
supreme. Yes.
In Cayman Parliament, there's no Parliament, there's a legislature. It's not supreme. It is subject even to a governor who can disallow the laws when the legislators pass it in the Legislative Assembly.
Mm-hmm.
And the executive power in the legislature rests with Her Majesty the Queen. That's not the same in the UK.
Mm-hmm.
And Parliament in UK is the same. You cannot tell them, you cannot hide things from them and give them a summary like what you can do here when they ask them for the information about the post.
Right, and they as a result of that, they voted that they should see the whole opinion that had been offered by Mr. Cox.
It belongs to the people of the United Kingdom.
Yes.
You see, it's not like here where they say we're not going to give you that voice because it's commercial, it's sensitive. We're not going to tell you anything about the airport because it's commercial, it's sensitive.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. But Doc, on another question, you talk about the portion of the Constitution that states that executive authority rests with Her Excellency. But in independent countries' constitutions, those that remain part of the Commonwealth, that is embedded in their constitutions as well. So it's not, huh?
Not some of them don't have that in their constitution.
Most of them.
Some they don't have that, but that's the problem they have in Jamaica right now.
Yes.
Why is it that Jamaica's an independent country and they still have the Queen as the head of state?
Well, Doc, that has to do with, and I know I don't have to lecture you because you know more than I do, but we talk about the British West Indies Act 1962. That's where all of that comes from?
That's right. That's where it comes from. And the problem that we have here, is they're talking about more political autonomy, more constitutional advancement. And the very two things that enhance democracy, we refuse to obey the Constitution to put them into force.
Yep. I don't know if you...
Public Life, Section 117, and Section 119, the Advisory District Council. How the hell are we going to get more advancement when we don't even abide by the things that we have now to give the people of power a say in how their political system works?
Yeah, I don't know if you heard earlier, but Mr. Bryan and I were talking about that, and we agreed that it almost makes a mockery of our Constitution by ignoring those two sections.
Diction, and it's a contradiction to everything else. But you know, there's an old Mark Garvey saying that intelligence reaps the benefit and ignorance carries the burden. That's what Marcus Garvey said in Toronto.
Yep.
Just before he died, in a congress that he had with some of his lieutenants, he said, intelligence reaps the benefit and ignorance carries the burden. And that's where we are right now. And to me, I do not care how many talks they have. They can spend as much money as Cayman can afford to spend or Cayman makes to go to England to do this and to do that, until they abide by the Constitution that they have now, that the people in this country voted for in a referendum. They refuse to give the people their rights. And as far as I'm concerned, this is nothing but a constitutional dictatorship. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Doc, for that.
Doc.
Thank you.
You cannot disagree with Doc at all in respect to what he's saying. But the one thing I realize, particularly with this seminar I went to, is every parliament, every constitution, every arrangement that is done in the various different nations are at different stages. It's like different growths. A 12-year-old or a 17-year-old or 8-year-old child. It's like we're all growing to try to get to that optimum level of democracy. And what is the optimum level of democracy? And most people see that as the UK Parliament, right? But even the UK Parliament itself has structures in place that are not perfect. Yeah. And we have to examine that. And though I agree with Dr. McFeel in respect to some of the things the government is not doing, I think that the best way to address that is for better understanding of the people, the voters, so they can then hold their members accountable. So let's look at it from a top view. I go off the parliament, I go, oh my goodness, I see how the structure works, I see where part the accountability and scrutiny is and how governments work effectively so you can have good parliament and good democracy. But does my people know that? When I get up and argue that on this radio, do they go, yes, I like the fact that Kenneth is championing that? Or is their priority, Kenneth, I need you to focus on cost of living what you're going to do in my community? Yeah. So I understand there's a difference and education is a key part because...
But and I'm going to interrupt you just for a second just to point this out, that in order for you to deliver the deliverables or to live up to their expectations, right? You need to be able, like you said earlier, to function in that legislative assembly to be able to make those deliverables.
Yeah. So and the only way we can do that is for people to be more informed about how that structure of democracy in Parliament works, how it comes out best for you. So if you hear me here arguing for a standing committee, say, Kenneth, man, I elected you to make sure I get a job. Yes, but what I'm arguing for here is also to make sure that your environment that you live in is true and fair, and the ultimate outcomes that happens in Parliament is in the best interest of you and your children and in the future. So, but I don't expect that person to understand it, because even me, myself, are growing in the understanding of this. We need to create that as a part of our structure in our normal process of education for kids, which gives me an opportunity to segue right before we go to the break into... another area of concern. As you know, I'm a part of the Youth Parliament Committee here in Cayman. Yes. And I had an opportunity to go to their learning center. It says a Parliamentary Education Center. When will you visit? And this is just a pamphlet, right, from that I picked up over there. And I had to visit and saw what the kids get to see. And there's 2 stages of education for kids. Very early stages in their primary school, and they learn about the foundation of how it all began, how the democracy began, and how the UK Parliament works, the Queen and the Parliament members, the House of Commons and the House of Lords, and what it all means, what a speaker is and all that. And they do it in a fun way to intrigue kids. And then kids come back at a more senior age, like 13, 14 and above afterwards, and they get more serious in depth, because that's the stage where they have to start thinking about the responsibilities of what democracy is. Because when you have a good, strong structure, like Dr. Steve McFeel has spoken about, scrutiny and holding governments accountable, that they can't hide information and they can't just go and ignore laws. When you have that, then better outcomes and solutions and policies are there to ultimately have people have a better life. They have less taxes. They have more opportunities through education. The social welfare system is more held accountable and the structure is better. So molding that structure is an ongoing thing at all times. In every parliament, in every nation, has tweaks to that all the time. And we are in that process too. And I think the only way for us to get better at it is for us to inform ourselves. I'd be honest with you, if I could, and if I was the premier of this country, I would hire Dr. Steve McFeel and give him a budget necessary for him to say, listen, I want you to start, just like how Alfonso is doing the Celebrate Cayman and the effectiveness of people embracing that. Hire Dr. Steve McField to say, listen, your job is to inform and educate the people of this country, because he's adamant about that. He sees that as a priority, and I agree with him. But how do you do that if the government's not seeing that as a priority? Because at this stage, I can't say that this government sees it as a priority for educating and understanding the structure of democracy in Parliament in this country. And until we get that, only then can we fix it. Right now, we're just thinking about the things that we can see. Can we build a road? Can we build, am I getting welfare, or am I getting a job, or the direct things like crime? We don't realize that building a nation is building structure in your democracy. And though I don't want to overwhelm my listeners, particularly my voters, that, okay, yeah, this is a bunch of rumble jumble, but it's important. While I still try to deal with ways of making sure that your children have jobs and making sure that the cost of living is less for you, or making sure that you're safe in your communities. So I agree with Dr. McField, and Dr. McField, I can guarantee you this. If the Lord continues to bless you, and I know that you're a strong man, so I hope that you're going to be around for at least another 30 years, and I am in the powerful position, I believe in the same vision that you believe in, and I think you have so much to contribute. I wish this government would embrace the energy and power that you have and the want that you want to educate about ethics and about structure and why is it important for democracy, because he's right.
Okay, we're going to reach the top of the hour. Headline news at 9 o'clock, and then, for the record, we'll return with MLA Mr. Kenneth Bryan.
From district to district, moving through the waters to Cayman Brac and Little Cayman. Your station, your voice. All things Cayman. One radio, many people. This is home.
Radio Cayman in the Cayman Islands.
Radio Cayman. Headline. Radio Cayman's newsroom. Headline. These are the biggest stories right now.
The Department of Community Rehabilitation is implementing a new community supervision technique. The new priority is to enhance the level of supervision offered to high-risk offenders placed on community-based orders by the court and the Conditional Release Board. Government says through this initiative, Cayman will lead the way in the Caribbean by transforming the way in which community supervision is done. This special counsel investigating alleged Russian collusion in the 2016 U.S. election will not be pursuing a jail sentence for former National Security Advisor Michael Flynn. He has admitted to lying to the FBI, but in a memo, Robert Mueller said Mr. Flynn has provided, quote, substantial details about links between the Trump election team and Russian officials. And there is a risk MPs could steal Brexit from the British people if Theresa May's proposed deal is rejected. That's according to a senior cabinet minister who says there was, quote, the natural Remain majority in Parliament, and any attempt to overturn the 2016 referendum would be a, quote, democratic affront. It came after MPs voted to exert more influence should the PM's deal fall. Those are your headlines. I'm Carsley Fuller.
Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands. What's happening in your community? News and information, music and more. You can find us. www.radiocayman.gov.ky. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. Radio Cayman is your choice, your voice for today's biggest news. Radio Cayman.
Initiating system.
For information that matter. For the record with Orrett Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. In the studio with me, none other than MLA Mr. Kenneth Bryan, represents Georgetown Central in our Legislative Assembly. Before I throw the mic back over to Mr. Bryan, I just wanted to make a clarification on something that I said earlier in the discussion with Dr. Steve McField when I said most independent countries. What I should have included in that and said was most independent countries that are a part of the Commonwealth.
Yes. Which is different.
Yes. So I just wanted to clarify that.
No problem. I want to say, you know who's a stickler for process as well in convention? The Honourable Member from East End, Arden McLean. And he has, in my little time being a representative, he has been one of those persons that I watch and I see that really tries to hold the government to account in respect of these types of things. And he truly and genuinely has been there long enough to understand the conventions and why they're there, and probably have had many opportunities to go off to training opportunities like this in the Commonwealth Parliamentary Association seminars and conferences to understand and examine other structures of democracy in parliaments, to see and come back and reflect on that here. And before even I was elected, I know I've heard him and Honourable Ezra Miller fight and ask for these types of things. And as a new young member, I am now more empowered and intrigued as to why, when those senior members have fought and stood up for these types of things, why were they not embraced? Because they're there to better scrutinize and strengthen the process of democracy and legislation and policy for the people of the country. And I'm worried now because I've heard, when I reflect on it now, I've heard the Honourable Arden McLean fight time and time again on stuff like a standing bill committee, and it hasn't been embraced. And there's only two things that I think I can come to a conclusion is, one, the government doesn't want those types of structures in place because it holds them more accountable, or two, they don't want our society and our democracy to improve, to have better outcomes. Both of those are not positive for me. And I'm at a stage in my representation where I genuinely don't want to fight with the government. I want to help. I want to help them help my people. They have to say right now, and that is that. But if you don't agree with logic that is better for my people, then you have me worried as to your thinking. And I must say that I'm going to be I'm hoping to have some conversations with the likes of Mr. Arden McLean now that I've seen more of those conventions. I remember the first 6 months he was like, listen, this is convention, you don't quite understand yet. And he was right. And I'm learning as I go, and I'm embracing and sucking it up and absorbing it like a sponge. and he's right. There's so many structures that are failing in our own little assembly that is not being embraced. And I've heard it time and time again. So I tell you what, I think everybody agrees by now I'm a person who will challenge, and I don't care if they want to beat me up. I don't care if they say I'm fish or fowl, because they do that all the time. That's fine. My people set me to do a job, and I'm going to do that. So I want to see what their logic is going to be, because I would like to think that my generation of representatives is totally different than the other ones. And my job, particularly when it comes to technology and social media, is to inform my constituents and the next generation of, here's their excuses for not implementing something that is positive. And most times, we as legislators, we debate in the House and we give our logic, and it's voted down, and nobody knows about it. And nobody even understands what your position is. Social media and technology has made it so much more easier to educate.
Yes.
So you can't just say no to something without logic, without reason, without a comeback. Like, I give you an example. In January, and for those who are listening, expect that there will be a series of videos, and I'm expecting it to be one every week on every one of those questions that I asked. So I'm working on my videos now, and it's a part of my political strategy and holding for account. So every one of those answers that I got, I have a rebuttal myself, whether I agree with those positions or whether I think they were good and I support them, or I think they were just excuses. And we're going to do that on a more targeted perspective, because no member, no citizen is going to sit down in the assembly and talk about and listen to hours and hours and hours of parliamentary proceedings. So I'm going to do what I know I used to do before, particularly from TV perspective, is break down the different sections of it. Like, say, for instance, for you, flooding might be a concern. So when I do a short clip of 5 minutes on the series of questions, my analysis of it, and what happened in Parliament, you can just go to your Facebook page or your YouTube page and just watch that one thing. So it's more targeted rather than having to flush through, 50 hours worth of content on YouTube, on the GIS website, trying to find out what is going on with flooding. You have to make the information more accessible to the average person so they can easily inform themselves. So all of those topics and questions that I brought, expect to see an analysis by myself on it. and what was said in the house. And so one of those each day, every week, for the first 2 months of next year will give people to see an opportunity to see me at work in Parliament when they don't see me out in the community doing things. So, but before we go to wrap up, I want to remind the public that it is Christmas. It is Christmas season, and I'm intending, OC, to do some Christmas cards. I did some last year, but what I found was I couldn't get to everybody. And one of the things I hope to do this time around is try to get to each and every one of my constituents, if that is possible. Because during the campaign, I was campaigning for a whole year. I was on the, what you call door-to-door for about 4 to 6 months straight. And I still didn't get to every house. That's how difficult it is. So to get to everybody is a daunting task. So what I'm going to ask the public to do for me, for those who are listening, those who are in my community specifically, and unfortunately I hope nobody feels bad, but right now my job is to focus on my constituency, the ones that I'm responsible for. I want those of you who I may not have your contact details so I can get a Christmas card to you and have discussions in the future, because in 2019 I'm going back to the road concept. I understand what I need to do now to prepare for Parliament in every session. I've got that down packed. I'm happy about that, right? So on my off times, because of lack of structured committees that I can give more content to, I'm going to say, okay, this empty space, use it properly. So it's going to be more of a door-to-door. I spoke to one of my constituents last night and says, boy, Ken, I'm glad I've heard from you, because most politicians, you don't hear back from them until 4 years down the road. We're now in year 2. I don't want people to say, I didn't see you again when 2021 comes around. So the year of 2019 is me after January, the second week of January, it's back on the road community work. My office will be there, but my secretary will be there to set up constituency days. I'm not going to be in the office as much. I want to get back in the homes to get a reflection. It's been a year and a half now. How do you feel? What is concerning to you? That kind of thing. Anyway, that being said, what I would like for the listening audience to do, those of you who are in my constituency in Georgetown Central, to, if I don't have your number already, and don't assume that I do, I want you to text your number to my office mobile number. And it is, for those of you who are listening, see if you can grab a pen. The number is 936-4040. You can text it to say, I am X, Y, and Z, or say John Blow. I vote in Georgetown Central, or I live in Georgetown Central, and this is my contact details. You can WhatsApp it for those of you who have WhatsApp, because some people still don't have WhatsApp. WhatsApp is free once you have data. You can do WhatsApp as well. WhatsApp is also on the mobile number, and it's the same number, 936-4040. I want your contact information, and just put down your full name that I know that it's you, so we can update our systems. I want to try to get a Christmas card to everybody. Not only a Christmas card, but an opportunity to plan next year. I want to call each one of you up and say, listen, can we spend half an hour together to get some feedback? How do you feel? How am I doing as a representative? Am I doing enough? Would you like to see different things? How do you feel about the government at a particular time? Is there some things that you want me to fight for? Or do you want me to support the government in some of these things? So I need to get that grounding game back.
Well, when you leave the studio to see today, just go upstairs to the what department that is, Miss Susan? Upstairs, the accounts department, and buy an ad and put on Radio Cayman. You know,
you're right. I like that. I think
yes, buy an ad for Christmas. You'll be the first one to have it on there, and I bet you're going to see more putting it on there afterwards.
You're right. And also, I want to give for those of you who may be listening, who may be efficient on email. Some people say, okay, I don't want to do the phone call thing, but I'll send you an email with my name. And also, if you are a part of a household and you have two members in your household that you know are residents and voters in that area, you can just send your contact details and other members of your household that is there with you to kind of kill two birds with one stone. But if those of you who like to use email, the email I'm going to give you is kbryan.mlaoffice@gmail.com. Say that again. kbryan.mlaoffice@gmail.com. And you can just send me the details, who's in the household, so I can know. Because sometimes you may have a family. Say, for instance, if a husband and wife has 2 kids. I want to know what those kids are doing, how they're doing in school. And I need to know who's in that family, what's progressing. Is there a senior? Are they doing okay? Health insurance. All of these factors make me a better representative, and I really want to get that data back. And I want to make a little announcement, and this will happen hopefully by March. In respect to representing people, you need to know how they feel about matters. But how do you do that with 1,300 people at a snap of a finger? You can't take 6 months to go around to everybody and ask them something like that. So I've decided that I'm putting aside $5,000 to have a survey done just on my constituents alone with 10 questions. Each one of my constituents come and do the survey. It gives me an idea and the feedback of how people feel about certain hot topics. And when you do the survey, you get a ticket. And I'm going to say a ticket just like the raffles that everybody else is doing around here. You're going to get a ticket, put your name on it, your telephone number and contact so I can contact you. And we're going to do a draw. And I'm going to do it live on one of the radio stations. I'll just leave that there. I'm not sure. I haven't decided that whole part yet because I want it to be live seen on camera, that there's no cheating and all that, so people feel comfortable. And the winner can win. I'm either going to do one sole winner for $5,000 just to be a part of the surveying process, because you need to give them incentives to come out to be a part of the surveying. Normally people don't get inspired to be a part of the democracy and representation until election time. So how do I incentivize that? And I think money is the normal process. I mean, people will say, I can win
especially this time of the year.
Especially this time of the year. So basically a survey, and I want to keep it simple, 10 questions, how they feel about these relevant things. Like say, for instance, one of the hardest things for me was getting a true sample survey of how my constituents in Georgetown Central feel about the dock and the current proposals. So I had to bust my behind and get around to about a couple hundred people, say, give me an idea. And then you take that 100 and use as a sample survey of the 13. But I want to implement a system whereby I can easily get 500 people to say, Kenneth, no, don't like the dock. Kenneth, yes, support the dock. You know what I'm saying? So I can get up and confidently say, this is what my people feel. Premier and Moses Colonel, I support you all the way. This is what my people told me to do. And if they don't like it, they can say, Kenneth, tell them we don't want no dock in Georgetown Central or what have you. Whatever it is, because my job is to represent them. So I'm trying to start that. And I think, unfortunately, sometimes people need incentives. And some good money, particularly at that time of the year. Why not? I mean, I'm quite sure just to do 10 questions, which will take you a minute and a half to give your answers, put your name in a box. Within 2 to 3 weeks, we'll pull the name, announce it on a particular date, and you get your money. That way, I would spend that because the information is so valuable for me to do my job. Because if I can get 1,000 people on my constituency to come get involved and do that survey, that's true direct representation. Because on the position of, let's say, for instance, gambling. Nope, legalize it, don't legalize it, boom. I've surveyed my people, they said no, leave it the way it is, or free it up, and then I can confidently stand in the House of Parliament and say, nope, I'm sorry, I don't support this. I've talked to my people directly. And that is way more valuable than $5,000 to me. So I'm going to be doing that in the new year. So look out for that. Remember, again, I need your information. Any one of my voters in Georgetown Central, regardless if you voted for me or not, it doesn't matter. Because I need to represent you anyway. And I need your information. I need to be able to have contact information with you, regardless of whether you voted for me or not, is irrelevant now. Now my job is to do on your behalf. So the number, let me just say this one more time. Sure. The number, 936 4040, and that's my office mobile number. So I want you to text your number and your full name. If you want to give other details like where your address is, that would be great and make it a lot easier so we can update our information. Or you can WhatsApp it as well. That number also has a WhatsApp. Or you can email, for those who like to do email, at kbrian.mlaoffice@gmail.com. So please send your information. I need to know who you are, what contacts, so we can sit down and meet again in the new year.
Okay, we're going to take our last commercial break. Folks, please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
Kirk Home Center is your holiday season headquarters. From tabletop to 7-foot-tall Christmas trees, tree skirts, rugs, garland, and wreaths, to traditional lights and icicle lights for indoor and outdoor use, and LED outdoor scenic spotlights.
ornaments like shatterproof balls and treetop stars, and holiday accent pieces like candles, diffusers, and nativity sets, tablecloths, glasses, mugs, and more. Get it all from Kirk Home Center, your holiday season headquarters.
A trip to New York City is the experience of a lifetime. Starting this December, Cayman Airways will be offering daily non-stop flights from Grand Cayman to New York City. That's right, Cayman Airways is going daily to New York City starting this December. Stroll through Central Park or take in the bright lights of Times Square, enjoy a Broadway show, or visit museums, the Empire State Building, and so much more. Whether you're visiting for business or pleasure, you'll fall in love with New York City. And daily non-stop flights from Grand Cayman aboard Cayman Airways starting this December. For details and to book, call Cayman Airways reservations at 949-2311. Contact a travel agent or visit CaymanAirways.com.
I am worried about my employees' health insurance. Are there any companies out there that I can rely on for great coverage, affordable payments, and who will work to make the switch as easy as possible? Or am I asking for too much?
You sound like you need Fidelity Health. At Fidelity, they offer great coverage through a highly rated and trusted carrier, payments I can afford, and with no on-island deductible on all the plans they offer. Best of all, they offered my company 50% back on the first month's premium.
This is too important. Today's the day I am switching to Fidelity Health.
Make the easy switch to Fidelity today and get 50% cash back on your first month's premium until December 31st. Call 949-7822 to make your switch now.
Initiating system.
For information that matters, For the Record with Orrett Connor continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. We're on the last leg of the show this morning with MLA Mr. Kenneth Bryan. Mr. Bryan.
Yes, Mr. OC. Thank you again so much for having me on. We didn't get much feedback today because I think we only had.
They're listening. They're listening attentively because see you're sharing a lot of things that you have learned, and they're listening. Oh,
good. I'm glad to hear that. So just to wrap up, I was away for the Commonwealth Parliamentary Association seminar on being a more effective parliamentarian in the last week and a half over in the UK. Had an opportunity to see a lot of different structures of the various different parliaments and assemblies, and ultimately learned a number of things that will help me be a better effective politician. I wouldn't say politician, but a representative and parliamentarian on your behalf. Truly being able to scrutinize and improve the structure of governance in the country. That way, I know they won't be able to say the next time around that, well, boy, he's not going to experience. And I want to make sure that I can speak from standing orders at the whip of my tongue. That's my new Bible now, the standing orders. And also understanding the structure and policy. Not that most people don't know, but the ones who are great, successful ones know the finer details, know it so well, quite like Dr. Steve Macfield, who knows the Constitution. He can shoot off sections of the Constitution off the top of his head, because as a constitutional lawyer or a person who is advocate for the Constitution but is also an attorney, he reads it like a Bible. You know he knows all the points of it. And I want to make sure that in 2021 there's no more discussion about whether or not I'm an effective parliamentarian, but more so the discussion about what my position is in my manifesto. So you make a decision based on that. Because at one stage throughout the campaign, people are going, well, is he good enough? He got a good heart. And Alan, the Premier even says that. He says, got a good heart, but you're ready. Well, I want to make sure that the argument is no longer there. So come 2021, when there's campaign, that we can talk about what is in your motion, what is in your manifesto, what do you effectively want to do for the people, and discuss that rather than my capabilities. So this is one way of proving that constantly, if updating myself and training myself and discussing with people. So I'm happy that I went to that, and tomorrow, just to give the public an update, we're going to be going back to Parliament before the end of the new year. Some important things are coming up, and I don't want to let anybody know about it until the government decides to discuss it. But there's some bills that are coming that are really, really important to our financial services industry. But I think we should all pay attention, because this one can cause a bit of an effect for us. We're going to have an emergency meeting to talk about that tomorrow with all the government members in opposition. So I'm happy to see that there seeming to be some maturity in respect to all of us having this discussion, because from an international perspective, we all had to fight the same battle. This is not a local politics. So I'm looking forward to that tomorrow and for the Christmas season. Just in case I don't hear your voice or see you or you don't hear mine between now and then, I want to wish everybody the best spirit in the world for Christmas. I'm really hoping to do something special. I don't want to make any announcements yet, but come the week of the 20th, 18th to the 20th, I'm going to be out in the streets doing some special stuff. Okay. So for my constituents who are listening...
No turkey trots, no turkey hunts, nothing like that.
Don't say anything yet. Don't say anything yet. But I'm working hard on it, and I will be on the street. That's why it's even more important that you send me those contact information, because since the election, the last numbers I've had, people have probably changed your telephone numbers, and I'm going to be calling you. So send me your message, your telephone number, full name on it, just so I can make sure it's you. 936-4040, because I'm coming for Christmas. Thanks again, OC, for having me. Miss Susan, love you very much.
We still have some time, you know.
Oh, we do?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes. We still have about 8 minutes.
Yeah.
No, about 5 minutes.
5 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay. The other thing that we could potentially talk about is the Christmas cleanup, and particularly Georgetown Central having their senior citizens. And let me just double check to make sure the date on that.
While you're checking on that, I just want to mention something, as well. I want to take the opportunity to mention this. And first of all, I must say that, and this is going to be, I'm talking about Health City and an article in the Observer newspaper of Antigua and Barbuda. Health City, I declare an interest because I have a family member who works there, right?
Okay.
But talking about the importance of Health City and the medical tourism here in the Cayman Islands and the attractiveness of Health City and their facilities there. And remember now, Health City came about, and I should applaud those, the government at the time who...
the Honorable McKeever Bush and his administration.
Who was instrumental in getting Health City to establish
and
here
Mr. Gene Thompson,
in the Cayman Islands.
As a Caymanian, you got to give him credit.
Now, there was mixed reaction to that. Some people in the medical community were against it. Others were for it. There's still mixed reactions to it, but we see the majority of the people of the Cayman Islands embracing
it now,
the opportunity to go there. And I was amazed that this had not popped up in the local papers here, but maybe it was because of privacy reasons or whatever, or maybe Health City didn't even make people aware of it. But on the latter part of November, the education minister for Antigua and Barbuda was air ambulanced here, and I can reveal this now because it's in the Antiguan newspapers. I saw it there yesterday. And he was air ambulanced here because of a heart condition, that he was suffering. He was suffering from. Now, all the way from Antigua. They crossed several other Caribbean countries, and including the use of their health facilities there in Antigua, and he was here. Got treated here, and I think he may have gone on to Baptist Hospital afterwards for follow-ups and stuff like that. But again, it goes to show you, how effective Health City is becoming, from a regional standpoint as well.
That brings me to a discussion I had with one of the senior members of opposition in Turks and Caicos Islands, and also the former deputy premier, but she's now in opposition. And we were talking about that, and she was talking about Health City. She says, all of our members have co-signed up that if anything happens, for them to come here. And I was like, wow, I didn't even know that. Like, so many people and so many government officials have already had pre-arrangements that they have situations to send here. So, yes, you're 100% right. Health City is doing an amazing job in respect to the international what was the word I'm looking for? International reputation for being one of those medical facilities that are at elite level. But since I brought up Turks and Caicos, I've had an opportunity to speak to her about gaming. you know that the bill has been withdrawn, that the government was going to bring here. And though it's been withdrawn, preparing for the bill when I thought it was coming to the House allowed me to examine the current laws, the current landscape of our community, speaking to Christian community, speaking to those who are in the industry, thinking and analyzing the crime surrounding it, allowed me to examine, to say, okay, we need to rethink this thing. And one of the suggestions, and I think I'm obligated by my responsibility to examine that and be able to have a position in it, one of the suggestions was a local lottery. So I examined that and think about it, and then some research came back and says, Kenneth, based on some research done a couple of years back, it doesn't make any sense because the numbers are too small. So I was speaking to Turks and Caicos about it and says, well, we have one, and they have a smaller population than we do. So I said, well, that's interesting. Well, how does that work? She's like,
and they have casinos in their
and
hotels?
They have casinos.
Yeah.
Now, I said, well, there's two parts, because, I mean, I think there's a variation of people's viewpoint on gaming. Some people don't want the casino thing. Some people think, okay, a national lottery would be good for the monies to go towards education or something like that, but not actually have casinos. Or if you have casinos, only limited to expats and tourists, and so all the different variables of gaming that is optional. But what if because I don't think this conversation is going away. And whatever position it is that I am obligated to have on behalf of the people of Georgetown Central, as well as the logic behind the research, I want to examine their legislation. So we've agreed, both her and I, to meet up in February in Turks and Caicos to examine how they roll out their national lottery. And this focus is just the national lottery. Personally, I don't support casinos. I know the damages of it. If I was to ever consider supporting something like that, it would have to be for only tourists. That's my position. But obviously, my personal position and what my constituents' position is two different things, and I'm obligated to their position. So I'll get the feedback from them first before anything. But I want to go over there because one of the concerns were that the administrative costs to put through a local lottery would be so high compared to the income you'd make. And she said, listen, come on down and I'll introduce you to the system, how we have it set up, the administrators of it, and go through the legislation and see how we got it to work. Because if in fact it's something to discuss, when the debate happens, I want to be able to be informed to say, listen, no, it doesn't make sense because I saw something, or yes, it does make sense and it can be profitable because I've seen it before. So you see, this conference and this seminar makes opportunities and networking for things like that to happen. So we already have that prearranged, and I'm looking forward to go to Turks and Caicos Islands. You know, they have a lot of similarities in respect to their parliament and our parliament, or their assembly and our assembly, and we have a lot of there are a lot of differences as well. And I want to examine some of those. So I'm looking forward to that. We're going to be there for a week. She's going to go through. I'm going to see their parliament, see some of the structures and stuff like that, and we're going to go through particularly that local lottery thing. So hopefully in the new year I can come back with some more information about that.
Excellent. All the best, folks. I want to thank you for allowing Radio Cayman, and by extension For the Record, into your homes, into your vehicles, as you traverse the busy roads of the Cayman Islands, into your places of work, whether it be an office cubicle or if you're working in the outdoors. I also want to thank Mr. Kenneth Brown for being here this morning, as well as our previous guests, Mr. Alfonso Wright and Ms. Debbie Ebanks. I also want to remind you that we are brothers and our sisters keepers. There is always someone out there who's less fortunate than we are, and I ask you to extend a helping hand to them. If you can't do that, then I suggest you donate to a worthy charity, because we always want to consider those who need, not necessarily those who want or even those who crave, especially during this celebratory time of the year where we celebrate the birth of Jesus Christ. I say to you, continue to support your radio station, Radio Cayman. Join Sterling Dwayne Ebanks at 12:15 for Talk Today. And as usual, we ask the good Lord to bless these three beautiful, wonderful Cayman Islands.
The Record is brought to you by Fidelity Bank. For all your banking and pension needs, call or visit a Fidelity branch today. Vamped Motors, the only authorized Ford and Toyota dealerships serving the Cayman Islands. And Cayman Pharmacy Group, with locations in West Base and professional pharmacy at CTMH Doctors Hospital. The Cayman Pharmacy Group has a location for you just around the corner. And Seaboard Marine. With over 35 shipping ports, find your shipping solution by calling Seaboard Marine at 949-4977.